So if we just jump right into it, number 10 on the list this week is the Victor Wembanyama base gold of the Flawless set. It's out of only 10. It sold for $4,000. Now, number 11 was also this same card that sold for $4,000. And I think 13 or 14 or 14 or 15 were also this card. And they sold for around 3,500, I think for one, 31 or 3,200 for the next. So this card is extremely popular this week. The whole set in general, and real fast, Victor Wembanyama this week is the top dog. He's number one in total sales this week. It's been $113,056, and this NBA Flawless set on the resale market this week is by far the top dog. It's brought in 200. It sold $265,170. Number two on the list, just to show how much more that is the WNBA Prism set, and that sold a total of $32,321. So not quite 10 times as much, maybe 8 times more than any other set. But if this says anything, this is a massive top 10 list. Now, if you followed any of my content or any of my posts this week, sorry, spoiler alert, I completely ruined the top 2 picks. However, I feel like those 2 top picks deserved their own place. It was kind of a historic week, and those 2 were just massive sales. They should be talked about separately. But this is just a general massive top 10 list. I mean, this card, number 10, sold for $4,000. I've done top 10 lists where the top card of the week wasn't $4,000. So you're going to want to stay tuned and check this out. Also, I tried to do the top 10 list last week as a short form. I like it more as a long form. I like to just have this conversation, learn about the market a little bit. Short form, you have to go so fast. Like the attention span is this big. So, I'm even like stumbling over my word. Number 10 is this, number 9 is this, 7, and the number 1 sale. I don't think that's the best form for it. You don't get as much. And I also want this to be for the collector who's currently on the market, just so we can talk about what's going on, what players, what sets. Just generally speaking, I do find this to be very informative if you look at nothing else on the blockchain for the week. If you just look at the top 10, and then I'm going to sprinkle in some more information that we can obtain from the blockchain like I just did about Wemby and this set in general, I think you'll learn a lot that will carry you and make you a better collector. And I think this is very important for the new collectors out there. 6 months ago, I had no idea what the Panini blockchain was. So for any new collector who stumbles upon this, I think the top 10 list can really, I guess, start opening the door for them to see what this is all about, who's collecting, how much money you collectors are putting into this to keeping it going forward, moving forward and making this a bigger and better thing from month to month. You should get, honestly, you collectors right now should get all the credit for pushing this forward, because frankly, nobody else is. And so I'm just trying to do my part and also bring this to the forefront just to get more collectors involved. So I think this is good to have these conversations where we could all sit down also for the new collectors. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know. And I also just enjoy doing it. But lastly, I'm rambling. I tend to do that. So I think some of these previous top 10s have been maybe 20 minutes. That's boring. Like that's just too much. So I'm going to try to condense it down to 10 minutes, which is already tough, but I'm going to do it. And also sprinkle in, again, some more information to hopefully make it more informative, more entertaining, blah, 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 blah. So let's jump to number 9. And the number 9 sale is Caitlin Clark. It is her Base Prisms White Sparkle out of only 8. And this sold for $4,022. Now, if you heard me mention before that the WNBA Prism set as a whole was the second top seller of the week at $32,321, I think you could probably guess that we're going to see some Caitlin Clarks on this list. The White Sparkle is my favorite set. I actually own her, I guess it's called, we'll call it the variation where, they're just standing there holding the basketball. I've heard Spinatron talk about this particular rookie card being the true rookie card, which I do agree with. He gets down to the details of even referencing the shoes she's wearing in this are her actual shoes, where the shoes in the variation aren't. I mean, that's detail that, you got to love coming from him. But this is a beautiful card. I can't, $4,022. I can't argue with it. I'm still huge on Caitlin Clark. I think I like collecting her more than anybody. I think her career the next 10 years is going to be super exciting. And as you can see, she's still very popular on the blockchain. In fact, she is the number 3 highest selling athlete this week. So total sales for Caitlin Clark, total resales of her cards are 27,258. She's number 3. Let's go to number 8. Number 8 is LeBron James. It is the base gold of the Flawless set out of 10. And specifically, the serial number is 1 out of 10. And it sold for $4,500. And we all know that if the serial number is like a 1 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, they do offer, they do go for a premium. That's probably why it went for $4,500. But LeBron's making my life easier because, as I mentioned before, Wemby was the number 1 highest selling athlete. Caitlin was the 3rd highest selling athlete. Well, LeBron's the 2nd highest selling athlete. This week, LeBron accounted for $82,751 in total resales of his sports card NFTs. Let's go to number 7. 7th highest selling sports card of the week is the Lionel Messi Kaboom Gold out of 10. And again, the serial number is 10 out of 10. So it is going to go for a premium, but it sold for $5,750. Now, this is just an awesome sports card. I mean, everyone, whether you watch soccer or not, everyone watches the World Cup. And with the World Cup coming next year, the lead up, this is just a card I think a lot of people would just like to have in their collection. And Lionel was on the list of the highest selling athletes of the week. He was number 7. But however, totaling $6,233. So outside of this card, that accounts for an extra $500. So without this sale, I don't know if he would pop up on the top 10. Nevertheless, it's a beautiful sports card. Let's go to number 6. With the 6th highest sale of the week, we have the Luka Logoman autographs, 1 of 1, and this sold for $12,250. I told you we had a massive top 10 list. It's massive. This is the 6th highest selling card at $12,250. Awesome card. Is from the Flawless set that just got released about 2 weeks ago. And Luka is the 4th highest selling athlete of the week at $17,682. And when I say the past week, it's the past 5 days, before I calculated the previous top 10, you get it. And it will be more, again, as I go along, it'll be more consistent. I'll be posting things more daily with information that everybody can take a look at. But let's move on to number 5. The 5th highest sale of the week is the Caitlin Clark Base Prisms Gold out of only 10, and it sold for $14,000. Now, as we talked about before, Caitlin was the 3rd highest selling athlete on the blockchain this week, so she's going to have some big cards. A lot of her cards are big, especially, the out of 10. Once you have some of these collectors purchasing them to put in their PC, the float on these is always going to be maybe 1 or 2 here and there. So, generally speaking, I wouldn't be surprised if you can continue to see her rare sports cards go up in value, because a lot of people just want to collect her for the next 5 to 10 years, and they're not necessarily looking to flip Caitlin Clark. The 4th highest sale is Wemby again. It is the Base Prisms Gold out of 10. This particular sports card sold for $20,000. So Caitlin Clark's same variation that we just saw sold for 14. Wemby sold for 20. I mean, these two players are still. Can you get any hotter on the collector's market than Wemby and Caitlin Clark still? So I love this sports card NFT. I think the Wemby rookie will be iconic for a while. It'll be interesting what that team does. They have probably the most exciting team to watch next year. So it'll be really interesting how the Spurs do next year with Castle, Wemby, and then they just got the number 2 pick in Harper. I mean, can you remember a team that young and that talented? So it'll be exciting to watch next year. Let's go to number 3. The 3rd highest sale of the week is a triple logo man. It is David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and Wemby. That's incredible. That's a great looking. I mean, that's a really cool card. Talk about being an iconic team. I mean, to be able to have those 3 guys on the same team in one card, and they're all just legends of the sport. That's really, really cool. And I didn't even factor, I guess if you factor this sold for $23,000. So if you factor this into Wemby, I mean, it's $113,056 this week, plus a $23,000 triple logo man. Excuse me. That's pretty impressive. So this is the number 3 card. That's really cool. So let's go to the number 1 and 2, which I'm sure most of you already know. And if you don't, So the second highest sports card NFT comes in at a whopping $55,000. It's the LeBron James dual logo, man, one of one, him on the Cavs, him on the Lakers. I mean, this is a sick card. This is awesome. Like, I wonder, is there a triple logo, man, with him on the Heat as well? That would be pretty crazy because he's won a championship with all three. So that would be pretty nuts. But this is a great card. Again, it sold for 55,000. It is a historic week because this card and the number one card are the two highest selling sports cards of the year, and they land on the same week. And I'm sure having the flawless release drop doesn't hurt that potential from happening. But needless to say, congrats. This is an amazing looking sports card NFT. Now let's go to number one. The number one highest selling sports card NFT of the week goes to the Wemby logo, man, and it sold for $60,000. In a previous video, I've made the argument that this particular card will be talked about for a while. I mean, 10 years from now, of course, the Prism rookie card is just going to be the most iconic in terms of you're going to walk up to a table or you're going to go on the blockchain. And as soon as you see it, you're just going to know exactly what it is. It's just it's part of the collector's lexicon at this point. But this is one of those cards where you're just going to talk about, like, in 10 years, you're going to be like, who owns that now? How much did that sell for at Sotheby's auction? It's a pretty iconic card. It's really cool. $60,000. I don't think the physical version has sold yet. Everybody's, or not everybody, the video showing it being pulled has been circulating a lot, but I don't think it's been resold. So let's see what the physical version goes for. This one went for $60,000. I appreciate you hanging in there for this top 10 list. Again, as the weeks go on, I kind of wanted to get it a little more informative. I'll tighten it up so it's not so long, but I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.